Hello everyone, in this video what we are going to see is image overlay. This is the advanced with the help of CSS3 animation. Here we are not gonna use any JavaScript but only CSS. When I hover on this thumbnail, you'll see the effect. This is what we are going to see in this tutorial. Good, right? Let's start. Let me remove all the CSS and start from scratch, and by that time I'll show you the HTML. As you can see, we have a main container center, and inside the main container center we have a image box which consists of image and a container. The container holds the heading and paragraph. Just make sure you clearly understood the HTML, and we'll go for the CSS. The first thing, without CSS, this is what our page would look like. So our main job is to style the center. What this class will do is this will position center on the screen. Position colon absolute top 50 percentage and left 50 percentage, transform translate property minus 50 percentage. Refresh it. And minus 50 percentage. This is a trick which will allow us to center align the content on the screen. Fine. Now let's get into the image box. This class I'm going to make the position relative. I'll say why I made it relative later in this video, and you'll find out. Let me give the width to it. Width of 600 pixel and height of 600 pixel, and I don't want any overflow, so overflow colon hidden. Refresh it. Fine, there is no overflow. That's the reason the image box has restricted the content. Now it's time to style the image inside the image box. So image width colon 100 percentage. Refresh. Fine, right? Let's make it the height also 100 percentage. Fine. Now what is our goal? Our goal is to get this container over the image. Right now the container is below the content, right? So what we'll do is we'll get the container from here to the top. That's the reason why I used image box position relative, so that I can use on the container position absolute. It is a rule that whenever you use absolute, your container should be position relative. So the main container is image box, so it has position absolute. That's the reason why we are using position absolute. Fine. Top of 0 percentage or pixel, anything can be done, and left of 0 pixel. Fine. As you can see, from here it came over here. Top 0, left 0. Now it's time to style the content. color white, refresh it, fine. And the text align center and font size of 50 pixel, nice. The same way is for paragraph inside the container. Instead of text align center, I need padding of top and bottom 0 pixel, left and right 5 pixel. Font size is too much, we don't want that much, so let me make it 30, fine. Right, I have zoomed it so that you can see clearly. Let me give margin top to the heading of how much? 30 pixel. Fine. Now I'm going to make the heading somewhere. Now the heading is here, right? What I'll do is I'll get this heading and place it over the image so that I cannot see the heading. For that, transform colon translate y-axis minus 200 pixel or percentage. Refresh it. Transform translate y-axis minus 200. Let me check. Not working. Still there is a problem. Yes, instead of 200 we should have 300, so it has gone up. The same way, what we have to do is I'm going to increase the size of the paragraph. The same transform property would use here. Transform, instead of translate we are going to use scale it so that we can increase the size by 2 times. Now it's 2 times bigger. Now I would like to, when I hover on the class image box, what I need is I want the container heading to get the translate property as 0. The same way is for paragraph inside the container. Get the property and use its default value. Default value of scale is just 1. Refresh it. This is too quick. To slow down, you would use the property called transition 0.5s on both the content, that is paragraph as well as heading. Fine, right? What happens is the scaled value gets the default value as well as the translate property also gets its default value. Right. Now when I hover on the image should also get increase the size. For that, the same transform property I would apply it on the image. Instead I would scale as well as I need a translate of top, right? So y, since we are going top, it is negative of y, let's say negative of 10%. Refresh it. we have just used it. We should have used it on the hover. When I hover on the image box, I want this style to happen. The percentage is the problem here. It's getting bottom right, so instead of negative, let me give positive. Yeah, the transition is too quick for that. 0.5 second. Fine. Now we need a color. For that, I'll choose the container. Choose the container and before, use a pseudo class before. This is the syntax you should use, or else you won't get. Position absolute top of 0 and left of 0 and background of red. So what you'll get, %, or something. We have not used the width 100% and height. Fine. What you need is you have to use the transform property here. Skew of 45 degree. Right, and give the we don't have to give the opacity. By default, I don't want the red mark to show up. For that, use the translate property to get away from it. Use the x-axis minus 100%, so that it will get on the left side. 200. So by default, I don't want the text also to show up. For that, this is the paragraph, right? So give opacity of 0. When you hover, make it 1. The same applicable for heading. So by default it is not there. When I hover, you can see. Fine, right? The same is for the image box. When I hover over on the image box, I want the content before to get the transform of default value, translate x of default value, and by default I want the opacity to be 0.2, so that I don't get a rich red. Instead of image box, I would suggest you to make it container. There's still a problem. Translate X, let's make it rotate of 90 degree. Then the problem is with the height and width, we can adjust it appropriately. Fine, we just have to fix the height, that's it. What I did is I just made the 150 and 200. It seems to be working fine. Thank you for listening.